Hello students, welcome to another lesson of Class 8 Geography, Chapter 1, Resources. As you know, this pen, it is a useful object. So anything which is useful to us is a resource, because resources are satisfying our needs. So all the resources have some value or worth. Some resources have economic value and some resources they do not have economic value. So every resource is having its own utility or usability, because utility is what makes an object or substance a resource. For example, we are using water for drinking or for washing, and for many purposes we are using water. Then we are using electricity, we are having food, then we are traveling on car. All these are having usability or utility. So any substance which has utility is not to be a resource. It depends upon the time and technology, and these are the two very important factors that can change a substance into a resource. For example, invention of fire, invention of wheel, then computer and technology, then the generation of electricity through various natural sources like hydroelectricity. All these are depends upon, or all these are the progresses that have happened due to the time and technology, or technological advancement created these changes in our lives, or the utility will change from one level to another based on the time and technology. Okay, because earlier natural resources were not extracted. Nowadays we know solar energy, wind energy, tidal energy, all these resources, all these natural resources are being utilized by us due to time and technology. There are three types of resources, we mainly categorize them. They are natural resource, human resource and human-made resource. I will explain to you in detail about all these different types of resources. First of all, you must know what is human resource. Human resource means human beings or the people in a country, because it is their ideas, knowledge, inventions and discoveries that led to creation of more resources. That is why we consider human resource as the most important resource. Secondly, as I told you, natural resource. Natural resources are the resources that are drawn from nature and used without much modification, like water, air, sunlight, soil, etc. We can classify natural resources based on their level of development and use, then based on their origin, stock and distribution. So based on the level of development and use, natural resources are classified into actual resources and potential resources. As you can see in the diagram, level of development and use, natural resources are classified into actual resources and potential resources. Then based on the origin, they are classified into biotic and abiotic. I will explain more about each one in detail. Then based on the stock, natural resources are divided into or classified into renewable and non-renewable. Based on their distribution, natural resources are classified into ubiquitous and localized resources. We will see more about it in detail. Natural resources, on the basis of their level of development and use, they are actual resources and potential resources. As I told you, actual resources are those resources whose quantity is known to us or which are presently in use. For example, coal in Germany, petroleum in the GCC, all these resources are being extracted or being taken out. So the resources which are used or which are presently used, they are known as actual resources. Potential resources are those whose quantity may not be known to us and these are not being used at present. So these resources could be used in the future. So potential resources are kept for future. So the uranium found in Ladakh, geothermal energy, tidal energy, etc. are the potential resources because they will be used in the future. Based on their origin, resources can be abiotic or biotic. So, biotic resources are derived from living things. Bio means life. So, resources derived from living beings like plants and animals, okay, they are known as biotic resource. Abiotic resource means the resources which are derived from non-living things like water, soil, air, minerals, light. All these are abiotic things. So, abiotic resources are non-living, whereas biotic resources are living. Natural resources can be broadly categorized into renewable and non-renewable resources. These are the categorization based on their availability or based on their stock. So, renewable resources are replenished quickly, such as water and air. So, these are renewable resources, these are regenerated. Whereas non-renewable resources will take thousands of years to get renewed or replenished, such as minerals. For example, coal or petroleum, they will take thousands of years for its formation. Natural resources, on the basis of their distribution, we can say they are ubiquitous and localized. Ubiquitous, the word indicates that it's found everywhere, like water or air we breathe. They are ubiquitous in their nature. So, they are ubiquitous resource. The resources which are found everywhere, they are ubiquitous resource. Localized. Localized means found only in few places or found only in certain places. They are localized resource, like copper, which we can't find everywhere, which we can find in few places. They are localized resource. Like iron ore or petroleum. Petroleum is actually not found everywhere. Petroleum is found in few areas on the earth. Therefore, they are localized resources. Another type of resource is human-made resource. As the name indicates, it is made by human beings for our own purposes. So, people use natural resources to make buildings, bridges, roads, machinery and vehicles. So, they are known as human-made resource because we are or those resources are created by human beings. So, the resources which are created by or made by human beings are known as human-made resources. Human resource, as I mentioned before, human beings or the people in a country, because their knowledge and ideas that led to creation of more resources, or every other resources are utilized by human beings. Therefore, human resource is the most important resource. So, education and health they are helpful in making people valuable resource, because improving the quality of people's skills so that they are able to create more resources is known as human resource development, HRD. So, human resource development means because human resource is the most important resource and they need to be more useful and they need to be more skillful, they need to be more proficient. Therefore, human resource development is happening or is taken care in a very important way. That's why you are being educated. Education is one such aspect that create resource development. So, it's very important to conserve resource. As we have seen, natural resource, human resource and human made resource. All these resources are very important. They are integral part of our life. Therefore, it's very important to conserve or preserve resources. If we are not careful in utilizing the resources, then renewable resources can become very scarce and non-renewable ones can definitely get exhausted. Therefore, it is very important to preserve or conserve resources. Using resources carefully and giving them time to get renewed is called as resource conservation. So, it is the effective utilization of resource in a careful way, in a judicious way is known as resource conservation. So, balancing the need to use the resources and also conserve them for the future is known as sustainable development. So we can achieve sustainable development, or we can achieve progress only by balancing the use of resources or judicious use of resources. So in the case of non-renewable resources, they will take thousands of years. So for the next generation and for the future, it's very important to conserve resource so that we will attain sustainable development. So the three words you remember: reduce, reuse and recycle. That is very important for conserving the resource. Reduce, reuse and recycle. So let's have a recap of this lesson. The three main topics: natural resource, human resource and human made resource. With this we conclude this chapter. Thank you.